Now it's time to see who has the heart.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
This is your fight. Now go out there and take it.
Let me see your war face. Ah! You didn't convince me. Let me see your real war face. Ah! You don't scare me. Work on it.
Welcome to a special edition of Applebee's Tailgate Talk, live on location. Don't go away, Applebee's Tailgate Talk is next. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens, Highway 72 West, just off I-65. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. One of your favorite teams is sure to be playing on the big screen, too. See you tomorrow at Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 Athens, just off I-65. Daily & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daily & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daily & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right.
Home security is not what it used to be. With Secure Connect and smart home integration features, you can unlock your doors and turn off your alarm from your smart home app. No more hiding a key under a rock. Get Secure Connect and live life connected. Call Ardmore Telephone Company at 800-830-9946 to secure your home today.
Now on a platform near you, the only year-round weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Reekin Havoc podcast. News, interviews, and more. Dropping every Thursday, we'll just reek of the Huntsville Havoc. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and listen, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app and online at ReekinHavoc.com.
Hey, this is West Limestone Boys basketball coach Justin Taylor, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
And good Saturday morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Applebee's Tailgate Talk. We're live on location at the BBC, as today is our annual visit with the Havoc, and I'm Jay Vassar alongside our producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert, joined here by two special guests. I think Laura helps with the podcast, Laura Pitts joining us. And, of course, our Havoc hookup, he's here with us live, is Freak Daddy Coleman.
I can't speak until you play my intro.
Oh, yeah. You can't hear it?
Yeah, you can.
Can you hear it?
There we go.
When you're born in this world,
there you go.
To the freak show.
So you're a control freak?
It's just a freak show anyway.
There you go.
All right.
I appreciate that. There you go to get the jump start I need.
Okay, now I'm going to have some music, some intro music for, and I'm
make Tim's life hard.
If you can become a weekly guest, then I'll make you some.
No, I can figure out anything.
There you go.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Folks, you can look for us on Facebook at Applebee's Tailgate Talk, or on Instagram, X, or at Tailgate Talk AL, Visit us online at tailgatetalk.net. Get your scores and archives of past shows. You can also vote on this week's Athlete of the Week poll and enter nominations for future polls, as well as find the links to download the PAS Plus app for your Android and iOS devices. Follow the Tailgate Talk podcast on iTunes, Amazon, Pandora, iHeart, Google, and other popular platforms. Hear us on your Alexa device by saying, Alexa, open PAS Plus. Or call or text us during the show at 256-812-1TGT. That's 256-812-1848. All our call-in guests come via the First National Bank hotline, making the communities great. And our special guest segment is sponsored by Yellow Hammer Roofing. As far as guests, Tim, we're just going to go with a
We're just going to wing it.
Wing it today.
Yep.
Like right wing it, left wing it, and whoever gets the shot scores.
And it'll be rough today because I don't even know half the players we have, so it'll be an interesting afternoon or morning.
Well, just looking out over the ice while ago, I saw that Glenn and Tyler's out there just messing around, playing around.
And that's two individuals that probably could play now still.
Yeah.
Glenn is in excellent shape. Tyler, I'm sure, just 1 year removed from his retirement. I think they could come back and probably both play.
And a great game last night.
Yeah, it's good.
Shutout.
Yeah, the crazy thing was the Pensacola goalie, it was his first game ever as a pro. So he played incredible. He made some, even though he, let 3 goals past him, or at least 2, because one was an empty netter. But, he played great. So, they're when the Havoc wants to play, they play. I think that's the overall thing that I've seen this year without, getting in too much trouble by the coaches. But
I was wondering if there was going to be a score at all there for a while.
Yeah, that goalie started out really, really good, and then I think they got a little tired and figured him out.
Well, I knew it was his first game with them, but I didn't know it was his first pro game, though.
I think it was his first pro game. I mean,
wow.
That's what I had heard last night because all of our staff was kind of like, wow, okay, we're going to have to watch out for this kid.
Exactly. Yeah. Whenever I see a team come out like that and they've got a new goalie, like fresh goalie like that, I'm always a little nervous to see what we're about to have to contend with maybe down the future.
Yeah. Well, and some people don't, like with the Havoc, a lot of these kids, when they've come up through the juniors and stuff, they've not played in front of crowds.
Yeah.
So there's an added intimidation on our side, but for them, they get kind of pumped up too. I mean, I think when some people come into an arena and there's a lot of fans that are cheering, they get kind of pumped up and excited too. So we kind of get the good and bad of having a sold out crowd. So
some of them come from other SPHL teams and are not used to these kind of crowds.
I had a buddy of mine that just texted me. He went to a Cincinnati. I can't remember their new name now, but it used to be the Cincinnati Cyclones was the team, and he was like, they don't even have as many people as y'all have at a game. So it was like interesting.
Is that the ECHL? Is that the team that?
Yes, I think that. I can't remember. I'll look up the name. So
Thompson went
text.
to.
Yeah, but they've always had a really good team, but the consistency and just the fact that Huntsville's growing so much and people are coming and. I kind of tease the in-office staff because they all think that, I tell them, say, y'all are born on third and think you hit a triple. I was like, there's a lot of years that's been put into to filling this arena up. Yeah. They're really reaping the benefits of, there's nothing really to do in this time frame in North Alabama. Weather's kind of, as like today, kind of crappy, so you're not going to get to do a lot of things. But tonight will be, I guess, sellout number 8 in a row. Yeah. And then the deciding factor will be next Sunday if we can pull off a Sunday sellout, which I don't think's ever been done in Havoc history.
Who are we playing on that game?
I think is it Roanoke?
Maybe I'd look it up.
We're bringing our 5th and 6th grade church kids to the game next Sunday night. So looking forward to that.
So, Clay, in all your time of doing this, when you've not what's the lowest you feel like you've seen the arena be? Like you've seen it grow?
Oh, absolutely. Back in the original days, we were excited when there was 1,500, 1,800 people in the building. So I've seen it at that, and it really wasn't low for us because the actual money it takes to run a semi-pro minor league hockey team isn't that much, So it's you're running on. As long as you don't spend a bunch of dumb money, then you can do that. So, in the early days, we would have 1,500. If we had one sellout during a season, it would usually be military night. And really, in all practical purposes, we probably shouldn't even consider that a sellout because we would kind of paper the place and give all the tickets to veterans and stuff, so it wasn't paid attendance.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been crazy. But like I said, we've kind of seen the writing on the wall. Like I said, I'm not as much into it as I used to be. I was eventually at one time I was just a account executive helping sell and do marketing for them, and then moved into the vice president role, and we worked really, really hard to be consistent. And I would probably think if I were, I'm not saying that, but like Ashley Balch and Kevin Walker, he was a president, and Ashley was a vice president. Back in the day, I don't know if we would have announced a sellout on some of these games that the current, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but but like they wanted to be a sellout, because sometimes when you see a sellout, there's a lot of, it just means you can't buy any tickets. Yeah. But it's really hard they would feel really bad announcing a sellout, and you look and there's
the seats that
there's
open.
like 5,000 seats, it's sold, and there's 1,000 left. You're like, hey, it's not a sellout.
And I asked Jared that on the podcast last week. How do you get around that? Because there's a lot of chatter that's been on social media about, well, it's a sellout, but we still have all these open seats. And I think just getting that perspective out there has been maybe being helpful for them. But that would be kind of frustrating, I think, to call it that and then see all those empty seats and kind of get people to understand the difference.
Well, you see it in baseball a lot. Like the Trash Pandas would always say they're sold out, and you go in there like, wait a minute. Yeah. But they've given, they've sold all the tickets to sponsors and everything, and just because they don't come, I guess you don't necessarily get penalized. But like I said, our guys would be like, I'm not going to say sell out.
Well, we also get a lot of chatter from the other SVHL teams that say, well, you didn't really sell out because you've got all these open seats, and that always comes into play.
But what I like is how they put it out on the app. Yeah, it is a sellout, but there are singles available.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, technically, for that, it is a sellout in the sense of you can't necessarily, you can buy the singles, but you can't buy tickets. I mean, I know that the Knoxvilles and Pensacola's and Peoria's, they're very there's a good rivalry that goes on with the staffs, and we've always kind of said, it really bothers them when they would go to the league meetings, and the commissioner of the league was like, hey, if any of y'all want to go to Huntsville to see how they do hockey. And
we're the standard.
They would get mad.
Right?
They would get so mad, and we'd be like, sorry. Yeah.
And I think that's even worse this year. We're probably even more of the standard.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, beat us.
Yeah.
Right.
Can't beat us, join us.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily just winning. It's the whole atmosphere. It's the experience. It's every single part of what happens during a game.
Yeah. And that's what I mean by beat us, not necessarily on the ice, but just overall, do better,
Yeah. Well, and it's a factor of a lot of things. You got to look at it like Knoxville's different. Definitely the Evansville, Indianas of the world are different. We kind of have, I think, the perfect storm right now with Huntsville in the fact that from the fan base, everybody that's moving in, and they're looking for quality of life and looking like what is there to do. And the Havoc keeps a cheap, I don't say cheap, but an extremely affordable ticket price. And I mean, you can't go park in Nashville for what it costs to park, eat, and a Havoc game.
No.
So it's it's still a different animal. And then the one thing I think the Havoc has been is Keith the owner has even though it's a small environment, he's invested in the video, he's invested in the social media, where a lot of these other programs they don't have that, and they don't have. We got Oakwood and UAH and all these schools that we can, Athens and all these schools that we can pull interns from.
And it's great. Him and Steve have a great relationship with the building.
Oh, and that's the one thing. Like I think they would say this. They probably say the secret sauce is the relationship with the building, because it is a co-pro agreement. So they are partners with the Von Braun Center, where other programs have to pay to rent their facility. Yeah. Technically, we don't have to pay to rent the Von Braun Center. It does come off in the accounting and things like that, but it's the secret sauce makes it where a local owner of a sports team can survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, great conversation there about the Havoc and all the good stuff there. But now it's time for
Scores and more.
All righty, basketball sub-regional tournament action last night. Clements girls beat Winfield 49-19. The only one of our local girls teams to advance. ABS girls lost to Appalachian 43-42. That was a nip and tuck all night. Ardmore against Ramsey. The Ardmore girls lost 68-46. East Limestone girls dropped to 67-41 decision, and the Tanner girls they just got blown by 79-10.
Wow. What do you do after that game? Do you just have softball tryouts? Is that what you do, or?
I don't know.
They got like,
but I mean, not to be mean, but they've had scores like that all season long.
Yeah.
So, and to be truthful, I mean, they probably have a weaker area anyway, and so
that was mean.
That's
apologize for that. I should never say something like that about any sports team. But yeah,
so that's kind of how they got into the sub regionals, and they would have, even if they'd have lost their last game, they still would have gotten in.
Yeah.
So, today, the East Limestone boys will be at Ramsey. Tanner boys host Sulligent. Elkmont boys will be at Winfield, and the Athens boys will be at Clay Chalkville. And then both James Clemens teams, their games, they don't have sub-regionals. They just go straight to regionals, and their games are still to be determined. The boys will play Thompson, and the girls will play Hoover. So
are those games at Wallace? Or they go to Jackson?
I think I don't know.
I think they go to Wallace.
I think so. I think Wallace. Huge upset with the boys.
Everybody on my side.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
That was a good game.
So next week, we will be talking with Gary Sarnoff, author of Team of Destiny, Walter Johnson, Clark Griffith, Bucky Harris, and the 1924 Washington Senators. And then upcoming, we'll be live at Athens High with North Alabama Elite Wrestling for the Battle of Athens, and we'll be live at the Chili Challenge, and I've been saying April, but that's going to be March the 9th. So,
okay.
It'll be over there at the
do I get to be invited to the Chili Challenge?
Come on.
Is that you get to sample chili? Is that what you get?
Yes.
to
Yes.
It's at the AK Event Center.
Have you ever been to one of those chili challenges?
I have not.
Oh, well, they're fun.
Okay.
You get to sample all kinds of stuff.
And you know
Good
what?
chili, bad chili, chili you don't know if it's chili, whole nine yards.
Do you make chili?
Yeah, I can. But my chili would be different probably than here because I have that Northern Kentucky Cincinnati chili, which has spaghetti noodles in it.
Okay. Well, see, they have like different
ones. Okay,
categories.
because every time I make chili for friends and people around here, they're going, "What? That's
Don't they
spaghetti."
put like cinnamon or something in their chili?
They do in
Skyline.
Cincinnati. At Skyline, they do in Cincinnati. But yeah, the mine I don't. But yeah, but I do put it'll either be elbow macaroni noodles or spaghetti.
Huh.
I've never done.
There we go.
Never tried that one before.
It's pretty good.
Hook him up, Tim.
Yes.
You could be like Freak Daddy.
You can be our official chili.
What is the winner of that? What do they get?
I don't know. You have to
recognition
go
for the best chili.
Like a trophy or something? That'd be cool.
I don't know. They might give away some cash. I'm not
Do
sure.
they still do the silent auction like they used to do?
I don't know.
Because they used to do it at
need to go to the
high school.
Facebook page. And
in the old gym, they had it set up in the old gym, and they would do silent auctions and just make a ton of money for CASA, but I don't know what it goes to now.
it's the Hospice of Limestone County now.
Okay.
So.
Maybe I can bring a Freak Daddy jersey to provide to the auction.
Yeah.
There you go.
I have a couple of those.
Yeah, and your jerseys have been going for some high dollars
Yes.
this year, too.
I've actually started about thinking of doing my own clothing line. 'Cause I'm not getting any of the money from those. I had one that went for $5,000, one went for $900, and the other night was like $700. So yeah,
And
I don't know what my
tonight-
Wizard jersey will go
And
for.
tonight, I wonder what it'll go for. So
Did they have a auction last night?
No.
tonight.
No,
Okay.
Last night was just
Okay, I didn't know if
Last
they
night
had
was the
one till-
retro jerseys.
Okay.
I call them the NC State jerseys. That's got the wolf that looks like the NC State
Yes.
logo on the front.
Yes.
Well, that's Scores and More, brought to you by P4 Physical Therapy, delivering world-class outpatient care with a purpose. Visit them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com.
And we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on the Big 1080, WKAC, and the PAS Plus app.
Hear Applebee's Tailgate Talk on your Alexa device by saying, Alexa, open PAS Plus, and hear it in crystal clear quality. Applebee's Tailgate Talk will be right back. P4 Physical Therapy is a new outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in Athens, Huntsville, and Winfield, Alabama, as well as Fayetteville and Knoxville, Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com.
First National Bank is a name everyone in the community recognizes. We see it in our schools, in our parks, and in our homes. First National Bank is proud to help make our community great. I am First National Bank Student Advisory Board member Elijah Goins from Athens Bible School, and I love to help represent First National Bank in my community. First National Bank, making communities great.
Located at 1880 Highway 72 East and 321 South Jefferson Street in Athens. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Davis & Cole LLP in Athens has served the area assisting individuals and businesses with bookkeeping, tax preparation and filing, and routine accounting. Davis & Cole LLP, located at 105 South Marion Street. Open weekdays 9 to 5. Call 256-232-9994. Davis & Cole LLP.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Applebee's Tailgate Talk wants to recognize our local athletes, and you can help. Go to tailgatetalk.net throughout the school year to vote for the Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week. The winner receives a Tailgate Talk t-shirt from that shirt printing place. Submit your own nominations for future polls, too. While you're there, check out the Tailgate Talk archives and see what you might have missed. That's the Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week. Cast your vote today from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Tailgate Talk.
Hey, this is Charles Morrison, varsity baseball coach with Lindsay Lane Christian Academy, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. We're live here at the BBC, and just trying to get a hold of AP. He's out hobnobbing with the Super Bowl folks out there, so must be nice to get credentials for a Super Bowl and hang out with all those celebrities and all that stuff.
Yeah, in Vegas. I was out in Vegas recently, and there's a lot of, where it looks really good in Vegas, but now, they had the Formula One races were out there, and the whole city is like mad and angry, and casinos had lost money, and then now they got the Super Bowl that's coming out.
Yeah.
And then they got the A's stadium that they haven't been able to agree on the budget and stuff. So yeah, Vegas is it's an expensive.
Then they had a guy climb the spear, right? And
tore up a bunch yesterday or the day before or something.
Yeah, it is a unique. I enjoyed going out there, and it was fun, but it was way too
Vegas
expensive.
One time. That's it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I've seen what I need to see. That's all I'm going to say about that.
What happens in Vegas?
Oh,
that's it. I've seen it once and never have to see it again.
I've been 3 times, but it's changed so much. Where it used to be, I'm kind of a statistics guy, and I don't really gamble, but I would always go play the penny slots. Well, now they've, if you've seen that, they changed the machines to where now they have these buttons where you have to push 50 plays and 100 plays, and if you're smart and do the math, you're like, wait a minute, these penny slots, but 50 plays, that's 90 cents. So these are actually dollar slots.
Yeah.
They're not the same. And then I've always felt like if I wanted to gamble, I'd just give $100 to my wife, and we'll see what happens. Usually, sometimes I get return on my money, sometimes I don't. But it's definitely more fun.
Well, speaking of being out in Vegas, you were out there recently.
Yeah, it was good. We went out there for for T-Bone and his long snapping at a big showcase out there that we got to go out and do that. There was 250 of the nation's best long snappers, so it was a good time out there to do that. I think for him, he got to see where he is and where he's not. When you get to go see against the elite talent, you find out if you're really as elite. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Vegas is it's an interesting place. You can get gobbled up, and it's, like I said, it's very expensive. The one I got, I was like, okay, one day I thought I'm going to be cheap dad. I'm like, hey, we're going to go get Subway. Y'all cool with Subway sandwiches? And it was still $95 for 4 people at Subway. And I was like, this is awful. And then somebody said, and then they were like, well, you didn't do it right. You're supposed to drive off the strip because it's very expensive on that. And I'm like, so you're telling me I need to take a $40 taxi cab ride to go to Subway? And then spend $40, so it's going to be at least still $80. So I just stick with the $95 and stay in the.
We were starved.
Oh,
we
it
were not
was,
eating.
because we got caught right during. His last day of the camp was Sunday, and then that was when the ice storm. Because Nick Saban tired and Alabama froze over.
Yeah.
We had to stay, and we couldn't leave the camp, so they started canceling flights. So I found out we weren't going to be able to fly back to Huntsville until Wednesday. So I'm doing the math, and I'm like, man, I budgeted. I'm pretty tight on my budget. I'm like, how are we going to pull this off or whatever? And then, every time that we went somewhere, I mean, it didn't matter if it was breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you were throwing $100 every meal. And I was like, golly.
Is there a cheap tent I can buy somewhere?
I mean, I was doing everything I could. I was trying to – usually I'm not the person. I was like, we got – trying to do the sob story. Hey, we got snowed over. Do y'all have, any vouchers or anything we can have for a meal?
Did all 4 of you go or just you and Tim?
Well, yeah. It was Wesley, Timothy, and my wife Chastity all went.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was we were living it up in Vegas.
Well, thank goodness you got hooked up with Golden Knights tickets, you would have.
No, right. That would have been a bad night. Yeah, a good friend of ours with the Havoc, we at one point had a pretty decent relationship with the Predators. When the Predators were not the NHL, when they made it to the finals that year before that, so they used North Alabama as a big feeder. I think it was actually the second or third highest concentration of season ticket holders for the Preds was North Alabama. And so Marty Mulford, who was the main ticket guy there, came down here. And then if you remember, I don't think y'all were with doing stuff with the Havoc, but the NHL had a lockout.
Yeah.
And they were just trying to find ways to make money. And so we ended up having an exhibition game. The Havoc and the Ice Bears played in Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah.
And we did a game where they allowed all the Predators season ticket holders to come to a low-priced SPHL hockey game inside the arena. So that was cool. And so Marty now works for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I reached out to him, and I was like, hey, do you know anybody in Vegas? And he was like, yeah, I do. And the guy, he hooked us up. I mean, he gave Timothy a welcome Tim T-Bone Coleman on the Jumbotron inside the arena. And then my email wasn't working because we had to stay over. And he actually sent me a message saying, hey, if you're still in town, we're playing the Predators this afternoon. But I'd missed so I would have had another free opportunity for some free hockey. But I tell you what, if you ever get a chance to go and you just want to go to Vegas but not get consumed by Vegas, go to a Golden Knights hockey game. Because if you like hockey, and it's probably the best sporting experience that I've ever been to. They put on a show.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it makes our stuff look like – I came back with, I got 5 ideas, and even our guys were like, man, I don't know if we can do that or not, because that's a lot of effort and a lot of work to do that.
And what's funny is seeing up there they have 2 Zambonis, and we only have 1 here.
Yeah,
so.
and they pay the waiver, so that, a lot of people get mad. They're like, it used to be you could ride the Zamboni. That was the thing, but Zamboni has a deal that if you modify the Zamboni, then it disqualifies the warranty. So if anything were to happen to it, now Zamboni won't work on it if you put a chair on it. So in Vegas they paid. I guess they're paying to do it because they had 2 people that were riding on the Zambonis. So,
well, let's kind of shift our focus here to this end of the table.
I was fixing this.
We've got a guest co-host here. Laura Pitts helps me on the Reekin Havoc podcast. So let's shine our spotlight on Laura and see who is Laura Pitts.
Oh, Lord. What do you want to know? I'll tell you.
How'd you get started in all this?
Because I got frustrated with other hockey podcasts that were going on, and that's the truth. So my husband and I do a lot of driving in general around the state. Well, I have a commute to work. We have a commute to pick up our son. So we're always podcasting, and I have a background in in journalism and left that career to find another career thinking I'd make more money. But we all know how that goes. You just leave one for another wishing you made more money in the next one. So it's kind of been a laugh. But, we listen to a lot of podcasting, and we were listening to some SPHL-related podcasts that were out there, and I was just frustrated, I guess, from my background and being able to interview and talk to people and just that way that I just knew how to do some of that. I would get really frustrated listening to them. Mm-hmm. And I told my husband, I want to do a hockey podcast. I could do this. And so I've been in school working on my PhD. I'm almost finished with all of that. And not like I needed to add something else to my plate, so to speak. So I had been rolling it through my head. How can I get in? I would love to interview hockey players. I know I could do this. I've done crazier things in my journalism career than this. So when Tim posted that that call or suggestion or, hey, would anybody listen to it? I thought for 5 seconds, he's going to think I'm crazy, but I'm about to send him a private message and be like, I'm your person. Let me help you. Trust me, I'm not a crazy person. And so anyway, we connected, and that's kind of how this all worked out. But it all started because I really was kind of frustrated in a sense of listening to these other interviews with hockey players in the SPHL, some of our rivals. I was listening to some that were done with the Bulls and some with Knoxville, and I was just like, oh, man, I wish I could sit down with these guys that are interviewing and, give them a couple of pointers and then kind of got them. I know that sounds terrible, but I was to that point. So, anyway, that's kind of how this happened was I randomly sent Tim a message, and he didn't think I was too much of a crazy person in his Facebook inbox telling him.
Little did you know that he was crazy, too.
Well, it was funny. I was in the car. We were driving from one of our 3-hour commutes somewhere. Maybe I was coming home from work. I have a 2-hour commute back and forth to work. And I saw it, and I think I told my husband, and he didn't even have time to comprehend before I'd already sent the message to you. So, anyway, that's how this all happened.
Oh, when you get in those fan pages and you get into the list of those, there should be a psychological evaluation before. Before
and let me tell you, I will never sit here and say that I'm the best at doing any of that, because we, as journalists, we are always learning. That's how I was always, when I was a newspaper reporter and magazine editor, I was always learning about how to do it. But I would listen to some questions that would be asked, and I would think, ask this or ask that, or let's get into this and stuff. And so it would just frustrate me. Yeah. So anyway, I don't think those podcasts exist anymore. If they do, I even think at one time, I'll be honest, I think at one time I reached out to one of them and was like, hey, if you want somebody to help, I'd be interested in interviewing, I'll do whatever. I never got anything back from them. So maybe
we just made them hang up their microphone.
Yeah, because I've not.
They were so intimidated. Once it got so professional,
right.
They were like, I can't. I think a lot of those podcasts, it comes from you, and I've seen this, in my years with the Havoc, where the view they have as a fan of what it should be.
Yeah.
They're used to seeing this is how they do it at NHL, or this is how they do it at Alabama, or whatever. Yeah. And then when you get behind the curtain in the minor league sports things, it's a different world.
All different.
You know, I love it on the fan page when they get so mad when we come to the playoffs, and they'll be like, I can't believe we got to go play at the Iceplex. That's so disrespectful and blah, blah, blah. And you're like,
yes.
Well, here's the deal. The reality and the truth of it is that the Von Braun Center, who actually runs a business,
he's going to have concerts.
It has this thing called Disney on Ice or the Monster Trucks or whatever that make more money in 30 minutes than a Havoc, six Havoc game, and then you look at it too, is I've been with the team for 18 years, and every time we've made it to the playoffs, the tickets before used to be included in the season ticket holder package, so you got free tickets. So there was this mindset of it, they didn't really pay for the tickets. Yeah. So it was a throwaway. So and then honestly, there's 28 games, there is a little burnout. I don't see how the Trash Pandas do it. I mean, it's that many games and that kind of stuff. I mean, that's a hard gig that they have to accomplish, because it's a 70, 80 game season. I mean, 28 games, people are kind of like, okay, gosh, I'm kind of done with this or whatever. So when it comes to playoffs, it's a throwaway. I mean, but like I said, that hardcore hockey fan doesn't understand that. Then they have a podcast and they talk about how much all the idiots are, and you're like, you don't realize that you're saying this stuff, but you're the idiot because you don't even know the behind the
some
scenes.
Some of the things these other groups would talk about would just kill me. And they brought Tyler on during the pandemic. One of them did. And I remember sitting at home, and I was like, they were talking about tornadoes. Like, they spent the first 30 minutes of the podcast talking about a tornado warning in Birmingham. And I was like, I didn't come to this to listen to this. I want to hear Tyler talk about whatever. So I remember crafting some sort of question and asking it, and I remember Tyler saying, well, that's a really good question, Laura, whoever you are. And I was like thinking, yeah, I know it is, because I knew how to ask the question. That was the day that I was done. I told my husband, I said, I've got to do a hockey podcast. And he was just like, okay, well, figure out how to do it. I'm sure you'll be fine with it. And so anyway, Tim stuck with me.
And the rest is history.
Tim's stuck with me now.
You saying you come from a journalism background. I know, Tim, and you've done that at the radio side. Now that the technology's become so easy for people to do, that you have these used to be the armchair quarterback who could sit back and talk, but now it's like, all I need is my iPhone and a thing to record.
I'll have when I set up some of the interviews with the guys, especially in the off season, they would say, well, we don't have a computer. I'm like, you don't have to have a computer. Just connect on your phone. Just figure out how to get a Wi-Fi connection. We can make this work. I'll hit record. It's going to be fine. Just trust me.
And I was thinking the other day, back in not too long ago, it seemed like everybody had a talk show on TV.
Right.
Now everybody has a talk show.
And some of the people, they just converted their time they spent playing Dungeons and Dragons to actually talking about hockey.
Yeah. What kills me, Steve Harvey's the judge.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's a whole dynamic. Yeah, but I think that's the part of it too. Is that everybody has become a broadcaster. Everybody has become a journalist. Their Facebook pages turn into editorials. Like they think that every time somebody dies, they got to go.
We would call that the community news watch. When I was in journalism, it'd be like the citizenship journalism. Those people who would run their own blog and try to do everything.
And now we had a girl on 2 weeks ago, Kaylee, is that her name?
Kinley Hargrove.
Kinley Hargrove, sophomore at Athens High School. Got her own podcast, talk about ladies sports. Yeah. Loves it.
Yeah. You got the technology, you can chat about it, know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a newbie at hockey, to be honest. We my husband and I started really getting into hockey when we got married about maybe 3.5 years ago. I had watched some hockey before, but it was kind of like a new thing, we become obsessed with it and everything.
Would he get in trouble by saying that y'all have maybe been married 3.5?
No, I don't know. We don't. Okay, here's the reason why I say that is because we got married during the pandemic, which meant we got married and then we didn't get to have a wedding, so then we have another one. So we have to celebrate 2 dates. I'm a woman, right? I'm going to have to.
Anything that happened in the pandemic caused brain freeze.
But we came the other day. It popped up on a Facebook memory of our first Havoc game that we had come to right when we had started dating, and so. We were both very new to this, and we've just kind of learned it over time. So I am by no means an expert on anything hockey related. I know as minimal amount as I can, but the journalist in me likes to research. I'm a researcher at heart. I like to know things, and I love to know people's stories. And I think that's what I love most about being able to be a part of it is talking to somebody who plays. But there's a lot about you as an athlete, but you're also somebody off the ice. Tell us that. And I think that kind of brings a little bit more into the.
I started to say, I think that helps. That makes us a little bit different than some of these other podcasts because some of them, it's just like a recap of the games before. Which I will do what I call a power play episode, which is a recap. But the main one is, who are you?
And people are invested in that. I think people like being invested in stories, especially when we have such a long turnaround here. We have players that play and they retire from here. Their whole existence, and whether they're called up and down and moved around temporarily, is with the Havoc. And so fans, they get invested in them. They get invested in seeing them and wanting to know it. And it just made me think, what are their stories?
Yeah.
Who are these people? I loved when I got to interview Dom. And he had just proposed to his now fiance, and I was like, "Okay, we're going off the rails. I need to know how this proposal happened. This is a cool story,
Yeah.
I love those are just little things, but I just think people resonate with that. I think it strengthens the fan base too, because then they have an opportunity to sit down and listen to something about a player that they like, or one that they're trying to learn about, or somebody who's new, and they just become more invested in it. It's just a better experience.
And you're talking about not knowing much about hockey and not knowing what goes on behind the scenes. I had a woman sitting 2 or 3 rows up in front of me, in back of me, that every time we get, 3 or 4 players in front of the goal and just couldn't make it in there, and it would get knocked out and she'd be like, "Oh, come on." And I'm like, "Lady, I'd like to see you get down there and do it."
I can't sit by those people. I'll turn around in the middle of a game, but let me explain to you what is going on. Can you calm down? I've done that before, especially when they pull the goalie at the end and you're having to explain it to everybody around you. I'm like, let's just make an announcement. This is why we're doing it, kind of thing. So.
Well, we've got our next guest waiting in the wings, so let's take a break.
The superstar.
We'll take a quick break. You listen to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on the Big 1080 WKAC and our PAS Plus app.
Congratulations to Athens High's Will Anderson, our Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week, and winner of a gift card from the Athens Applebee's and a Tailgate Talk t-shirt from that shirt printing place. Go to tailgatetalk.net and enter nominations for future polls. Applebee's Tailgate Talk will be right back.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Bring a little caffeination inspiration to your next event with Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens. Turn up the heat in these cooler months with their signature products, including a full coffee menu, white chocolate mocha, lattes, frappes, energy drinks, lemonades, and teas. Travelin' Tom serves events of any size, concerts, neighborhood block parties, high school football games, you name it. Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens is sure to make any event a little sweeter. Visit Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens on Facebook or call them at 434-1734. Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens.
Now that you've got that new place on the water, BP Riverworks can finish the picture with a boathouse, dock, or seawall. Call Barron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks, licensed and insured, 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens, Highway 72 West, just off I-65. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. One of your favorite teams is sure to be playing on the big screen, too. See you tomorrow at Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 Athens, just off I-65. While others have come and gone, the Lions Den Gym has been roaring as a workout and exercise fixture in Athens, growing from its humble basement beginnings in 1981 to their current 10,000 square foot location at 212 Commercial Drive in Athens. The Lions Den offers 24/7 access to their ever-expanding equipment collection that includes treadmills and climbers, elliptical trainers, stationary bikes, loose weights and dumbbells, and over 45 different weight machines. Contact the Lions Den Gym about a membership today at 256-652-2627. Visit them online at lionsdengym.com or on Facebook. The Lions Den Gym, 256-652-2627. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clemens sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net.
Hi, this is Jason Medovich, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
And welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. I'm Jay Vassar alongside producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert. Alar Pitts joining us, and so is Freak Daddy Coleman. And our special guest here joining us here at the table, sponsored by Yellow Hammer Roofing. None of the coach, Stu Stefan. Coach, how you doing?
Doing well, yeah. Just here, guys are in for morning skate this morning, so, good win last night, so guys came in this morning, just did a little video and stuff like that, and guys hopped on the ice, did a little skate, and just getting ready for tonight.
And to me, it seemed like, early in the season, the guys were still feeling each other out, and now it's all coming together as one. I mean, it helps with the sellouts now and everything, so it seemed like you guys has got it going on.
Yeah, definitely. We knew we had a young team coming into this year. A lot of our veteran guys kind of retired last year, so we knew it was going to be a little bit of a process here to start the year. Just trying to get guys on the same page, gelling, getting the lines kind of build some chemistry and stuff like that. And a lot of the young guys like learning how to be a professional hockey player a little bit. So we knew it was going to take a little bit of time, but like you said, we've been really rolling here lately. Our home record's been unbelievable here the last little bit. Obviously, the 8 sellouts I think gets the guys pretty fired up. So I think that's a huge part of it. But yeah, again, we're playing some good hockey right now.
Oh, he's taking pictures. So you got Pensacola again tonight.
Yep.
So what do you learn from last night you'll take in the game tonight?
We have to play the exact same way. I think we played one of our most complete games of the year last night. Again, we limited them to almost nothing. Like, they didn't really get many scoring chances. When they did, our goalie played really well. But, I thought we did a great job of just, staying above them, creating turnovers. Our forwards did a great job just hounding their defensemen. And then our D, we only had 5 D last night too, but they did a tremendous job just playing well defensively. So
Clay was telling us that Pensacola started a brand new goalie last night, and you didn't have film on him probably or nothing to see how he plays and all of that.
He's been in the East Coast. He was in the East Coast last year, so our goalie coach actually, kind of did a bit of a pre-scout on him, but their goalie actually played really well last night. I mean, I think we put up 46 shots or something like that, and he made some really big saves early in the game to really keep them actually in the game. So, but we got to do a better job just kind of being around the net, I think, a little bit too, to try to score a little bit more. But in the end, if we don't give up any goals, you're going to win. You win those games. So the guys did a tremendous job last night.
My intel was wrong. People were telling last night, they were like, "Oh, it's the first time he's ever played professional," and all this kind of stuff. They were like going around. I was like, "Oh, that's good for him."
No, I think just this year. I think he bounced around the coast a little bit last year, and then I think started in the East Coast camp, but didn't make it this year. And then just kind of jumped in here late in the season. But he played well last night.
Yeah. So I guess I can add. This would probably be a question you would probably ask with the journalism stuff or whatever. But I know I've known you for forever. I mean, I've been with the team for 18 years, and you coming in and talk a little bit about. I mean, did you ever think when you came to Huntsville that eventually you would be the coach?
No, definitely not. I mean, I didn't. I honestly had no idea what I was getting into coming to Huntsville, Alabama.
That's what some of your former teammates said too.
Yeah, I mean, being from Canada, and then went to school up north in Vermont, and then came down here and just had I had no expectations, but good or bad, and just but yeah, now I've been down here. I think this is year 13 maybe or something like that. So I absolutely love this city, and then obviously being a coach, not something I expected to hear to happen in Huntsville. It was something I kind of wanted to probably get into one day in my life, but at the same time, I didn't know it would be here. I've always loved hockey, played it, my entire life. My dad, kind of same way, played a little bit of minor pro hockey and then became a coach back home. So kind of want to do the same thing probably, but to coach at the professional level and here in Huntsville has been unbelievable, and I kind of cherish every day. So.
In this first year you've had so far in this season, what's been the most challenging part of it for you to kind of transition to?
I just I don't know, just a lot busier, I guess. I find on my phone a lot more. Not a big. I don't like being on my phone, honestly, but as a head coach, you got to sometimes. A couple Sundays ago, David Thompson takes that call up to Cincinnati, and all of a sudden, I was like, gonna have a Sunday off, and I'm like, nope, okay, gotta find a player. Start texting other agents, coaches, trying to find a player to come in to, kind of replace a guy. So just some of those challenges sometimes. It's just like there's really no days off probably, during the season especially. So, that's kind of been one part of it. But I think Glenn did a great job. I took each year that I was an assistant under him, he gave me more and more of a role. So, the transition's been pretty smooth. So I think and Glenn did a good job of that, giving me more responsibilities every single year. So, I don't think there's really been any huge surprises this year.
Now, how does it work? A guy gets called up. Do y'all have like a list of names, and y'all look at those guys, see how they're performing, to see if you call their agent or whatever? How does that work?
Yeah, a little bit. There's the Federal League below us there. So, a lot of times in the middle of the season, you got to, kind of go down there. There's a couple coaches I know really well in that league, so I'll reach out to them. Hey, do you have any players or anyone you'd recommend in the league? And, they give suggestions, and then I kind of try to do my homework on the players a little bit, and then, decide. We got that Jackson Bond, he's played the last 3 games for us, so he was the guy that we brought in, and, he's done a good job since he's been here. So, we've been happy with him, so pretty good with that. And then, a lot of the college hockey season's starting to wrap up here, so there's going to be a lot of college players available now. So again, yeah, like you said, we actually have a list of players, by position, kind of have the guys ranked. So, when their season ends and we need players, we're going to be trying to, jump on some of those players. And a lot of them, they can be kind of future players for next year as well, too. So, yeah. Definitely starting to compile a list.
Have you been able to do the homework on them? Kind of, seen some video or anything? Or sometimes you have not a lot of time to find somebody to replace. You don't have, it's kind of like a chance thing.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes it is like that. We brought in a defenseman, he's walking by over there, Craig McCabe. Earlier in the year, Fitzgerald broke his thumb. We needed a defenseman. It was kind of sight unseen a little bit with him. Just kind of brought him in. We needed a player. Other times, a lot of these college guys, like the other night I spent, 2-3 hours just at home just watching video on some of these guys, trying to, learn their game a little bit. So we know which guys we want to bring in. So it all depends on the situation a lot of times.
I would think it'd be hard. And as I've watched in the 18 years, and, I came in, I knew nothing about hockey. I mean, I'm from Kentucky, and, I think we had like the Louisville Ice Hawks was a team that was there, but we still didn't understand what it was. But when I remember getting here, and when I worked for the team, you would hear these guys that would get called up, and you would be like, man, he's so good, and we're doing so good. Like, wow, why does he got to go? And then he'd go there, and you'd see, like, he didn't even play. Like, he just put the jersey, it just sat on the roster. How do you balance that? To where, like, a guy where you're like, gosh, if he goes, we really need him this weekend. But you, as the former player, you still want to get him to where he has opportunity and do those. So how do you, as a coach, balance that of, no, this, because I know that there's rumors like, I'm not talking out, but I know they always say like John Gee at Peoria. They're saying like he's usually notorious for not really getting those relationships and letting his guys go up. How does that work?
Yeah, it's different. I mean, some places do it different. Some, they don't want their players to get called up. Other places almost encourage it a little bit more. But we're just here as like, we're trying to develop our players, make them better hockey players. And then in turn, that should help our team win games. And then if they're a better player and we're winning games, guys are going to get called up. It's just the way it is. So, if a team calls, like, we're never going to say no. I mean, a lot of these guys, like, their goal is to play at the highest level. Every guy wants to make it to the NHL. So, that's their goal. And, in order to do that, sometimes you got to climb the levels. So we're never going to deny a guy an opportunity. If they get that opportunity, they want to take it. Like, that's good on them. Like, part of it's, they're doing a good job on our team, and obviously they're being, being a better hockey player too. So it's always a good opportunity. I think especially for younger guys, like, you really can't deny them at all, because again, like I said, they're young, they're still learning. So when they get those opportunities, they're always going to go, which is a good thing. And some of the older guys, they get to the point where they just, they love being here in Huntsville. Again, it's a really good spot here with the city, just how everything's run with this organization too. So sometimes the older guys, they'll turn down call-ups. They just want to be here, play hockey. And like you said, sometimes guys go up there and, they don't play very much, whereas here they can stay here and play 20, 25 minutes a game, and they love it. So, it's a bit of a balancing act. But, as far as coaches, like, we're never going to deny a guy, from getting called up. If, I'll always pass the information along to them. Hey, do you want this opportunity? Some guys say yes, some say no. So it's really up to them. So.
Is there a protocol with it as far as, like, I know that the hockey community is so connected. I mean, can they contact the player directly? Do they have to go through you?
I mean, they don't have to. Most coaches, I feel like, are pretty good. They'll reach out to us, or some guys have agents too, so their agent will reach out, be like, hey, this team wants to call, your player up. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. You want to talk to the guy. Sometimes I just pass our player's number along to the head coach, and they have a conversation and see if the situation is going to work for both of them. So, it's kind of the way that works sometimes. But there are some teams that'll go around us too. But I mean, some of that's probably because other teams in the league deny those call-ups. So sometimes, the coaches up there just kind of go around our coaches down here. But, most of the time, I do get a phone call. So yeah.
You say you're not a phone guy. There have been times where you'd be like on a Sunday and it's like, Kalamazoo. Nope, not today. Not dealing with that right now.
Well, it was 2 Sundays ago. It was semifinals, in the NFL there or whatever. I just wanted to sit down, relax, watch football that day, maybe have a beer or two or something, and just relax. And then I think it was 10 a.m. I get a phone call from Cincinnati's coach. I know him a little bit too. So right away I just see it. I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go. So answer it. They're like, yeah, we want to call up David Thompson. I was like, yeah, good player. So pass his number along. And then, he decided to take the call up. So then, the rest of the day I was scrambling to try to find a player. At the same time, I was still watching some football. But, yeah, it's just a little more of a stressful day than I wanted probably. But
And usually what I've seen is when we're doing really well, like we're on a really good streak, played a really good game last night, somebody will leave. We're going to lose somebody. Somebody will get called up right when we're at our peak.
Well, that's kind of the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
When your team's winning and guys are scoring goals, that's when, they're going to jump on those players. So, luckily, we haven't had too many phone calls yet this year, but, I'd expect some down the road here. We got some players that are really starting to play well. So, definitely expecting some calls, and that's why we got some guys lined up, hopefully, in the pipeline too. So,
we got an empty net goal last night, a late one. And my mind started wandering at that point, and I'm thinking, I wonder, has there ever been a team or have you ever seen a team that was ahead and pulled their goal just so they could have another player to maybe just stick one more goal to?
No, I don't think that's ever happened.
You're trying to give him ideas in case
I'm just
break away.
That's one of my put out a play questions
tonight. Start the game with no goalie.
There you go.
That's my.
Well, I actually told the guys that a couple of weeks ago. We for a little bit of a stretch there, we just we were playing way better when we were behind. Like we had a 3-1 come from behind win, a 4-1. We were down 4-1, came back and won a game too. So there was a stretch there where we were actually playing way better when we were losing games. So I'm like, do you guys want me to just pull the goalie at the start of the game? We'll get scored on, and then hopefully the rest of the game we're just going. So yeah, we were joking around about that, but no, the guys have been playing well lately. So yeah, I don't think that's a strategy we want to use.
It's like starting off with an onside kick,
or get mad at the goalie. And go, get on the bench.
We're done. 5 minutes in, 5 seconds in. I have a question, if we've got time, about when you go to when you're in between periods and you've got to motivate those guys. Like I've seen us come back from some pretty rough games this season. We'll be really like. And I don't know what you do in that locker room or what happens. Like, take us into what happens during that moment, too, to kind of remotivate and get everybody kind of back together. Because we've come out and blown people away and won at the last minute and really come back when we've been really not where we need to be in the first.
Yeah, I would say game to game is different. There's been, I know the one game, I think it might have been when we were down 4-1 to Fayetteville going into the third period. A lot of times in that intermission, the clock starts, and then, in the intermission clock there, I think it starts at like 18 minutes. Usually me and Ty try to go into the office there, watch a little bit of video for the first 8 minutes, and we go in around the 10-minute mark, try to make some adjustments. Sometimes it's yelling at the guys. Sometimes it's trying to be positive with them. But I remember that 4-1 game against Fayetteville. I didn't think we were playing very well. I didn't think we were playing hard. So actually, as soon as the period ended, I literally walked right into the locker room and had a little yelling spurt, I'd say, at the guys. So
that was a video that there.
Yes. Yeah, there was a little video.
30 seconds of what was like 8 minutes. I heard.
Yeah, I was probably in there for a good minute, 2 minutes, yelling at the guys, and then there was a short little video. But it's probably different each game. I just didn't think we were playing well, and sometimes you yell at the guys, and that gets them motivated. Other times it's just being positive in there too. I think there's different ways. that try to motivate the guys. So it's just trying to find that balance. And luckily, the few times I've actually went in and yelled at the guys this year, I think we've come back to win.
Yeah,
so.
That's what I was saying. We would watch it on TV, and I'd be like, what just happened in that locker room to turn this all around this quickly?
Yeah, and I saw that video, and I was like, he always seemed like such a soft-spoken guy.
I think in that video there was some beeps too, right?
Yeah,
I think we did get to hear some of the language.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't like to lose. So
those are radio edits.
Yeah, I still have that fire there. So sometimes it gets to get the best of me there, but. Yeah, it's just making sure you're not always yelling at the guys, because if you do it every single game, it's just going to, start to fall on deaf ears a little bit. The guys are just going to be like, he's just coming in yelling again. So it's really just picking your moments. You could probably only do it 2-3 times a year, So.
Well, so far I've only wondered what happened on the nights when you come back and blow everything back to normal and we're all winning.
I remember that one situation, but yeah. So.
Well, I do have one request, and I've thrown this out to Glenn. I'm in year 18. I don't know how long I'll go, but with Glenn, I wanted at least one time on a big game to be able to come in and call out the starting lineup. Now, Glenn failed, and I never got to do that. So I'd like to do it in a big moment, but I will turn it up. I'll make sure when I come in and do the starting lineup, it'll be good. But I'm leaving it up to you. Whenever you need me, you need that spark, I'm there to come in and do that. So.
Yeah, we could do that. We get different guys in all the time. We try to get different people to do the starting lineup. So yeah,
18 years. Maybe it's me. Maybe
I don't know. I don't know. I never knew about it. So I coached with Glenn for 5 years. I didn't really know. It was a request. So we'll see.
Glenn's on my list. He's invited me to go fishing, but then never invites me.
But now when you go do that call up, you got to do what happened to Foxy. Remember when he thought he was getting the call up, and then y'all threw one on him that night in the locker room? That's what he told me in the podcast. So
yeah, he thought he was getting he thought he was getting the start there, and
didn't get it.
Glenn played a little joke on him, and he didn't end up getting the start. So
maybe I can do it zombie night, because I'm getting painted up as a zombie. Maybe I can come in and do the list as a zombie.
That's a great conversation. We're going to take a quick break. Coach, we appreciate you joining us, man. Good luck tonight. And we're going to take a quick break. You listen to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on the Big 1080 WKAC and the PAS Plus app.
Home security is not what it used to be. With Secure Connect and smart home integration features, you can unlock your doors and turn off your alarm from your smart home app. No more hiding a key under a rock. Get Secure Connect and live life connected. Call Ardmore Telephone Company at 800-830-9946 to secure your home today.
P4 Therapy is an outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in northern Alabama and southern Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Want to howl with the Havoc this season? Now's your chance from Tailgate Talk and the Huntsville Havoc. Just go to tailgatetalk.net and register your name. Then listen to Applebee's Tailgate Talk this Saturday morning at 10 on WKAC Radio as we announce the winners of Huntsville Havoc tickets. Howl with the Havoc this season from the Huntsville Havoc and Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
This is Shelby Davis, West Limestone head football coach, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
And welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk. As I said, we're live here at the BBC for our annual Havoc visit. And joining us now on the First National Bank hotline, making communities great. Special guest here from sponsored by Yellowhammer Roofing is former Alabama player Darryl Fuhrman. Darryl, how you doing, buddy? Long time no talk.
Hey, man. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing great, man. Just talk about what we got going on 1 yard at a time. You got your gala coming up, I think, at the end of the month.
No, it's actually about 13 days. I normally would know the hours, but I guess I'm pretty exhausted right now, so I don't know that because we've been going at this one pretty hard since the end of last year's gala. Actually, it's quite a story how this one's come together and what it's all about. And I don't know. Any you guys familiar with something called Star Trek or Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Both.
Star Trek or Shakespeare? I think they kind of crossed over there in one episode.
There are. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you guys, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this. A lot of the people like Shatner and they all came from the Shakespearean theater. So you'll hear about, written, of course, in Shakespeare, the undiscovered country. Well, the Letterman USA have their own undiscovered country, and that's what this year's gala is about. And that is to build a rapid, affordable, tiny home village called Heroes Village for our state's veterans to be located north of Birmingham, about on 44 acres. Actually, be on the St. Clair County, South St. Clair County line with North Jefferson County. But man, I tell you what, this has been nonstop since last year's gala with Ben Tamburello. So if you're an Auburn fan and you want to get an opportunity to meet Ben, you need to come to the gala because Ben's coming, along with a bunch of other Auburn folks. But guys, I got to tell you something. I think you guys know I grew up an Auburn fan. Did I not tell you guys that?
Yeah,
I did not remember that.
I remember you telling me.
My uncle was Shug Jordan's. No, I didn't say Jordan. If I said Jordan, okay. My uncle was Shug Jordan's bodyguard and Doug Barfield's bodyguard. Okay, so I was on the Auburn sidelines all the time. But there was one exception. My brother went to the University of Alabama and used to send me stuff in those years from the 78 and 79 national championship teams. And I got to tell you guys, I've had the opportunity this past week to be on the phone with people like Jackie Klein, I mean, Martin Nick. I mean, these guys, of course, you guys know our athletic honoree this year is Major Ogilvy, one of the greatest Alabama running backs from the Bryant era. If you're a Daniel Moore fan, everybody knows who Daniel Moore is. Does these amazing paintings for all athletics, but Auburn and Alabama especially. And one of his greatest is called Over the Top, and that's got Major Ogilvy in 1980 Sugar Bowl going over the top for the national championship win. Well, in the last few days, fellas, and I mean, it's been, for me, to talk to Bart Kraut and some of these other guys, it's just been great. Stedman Shuley. And I got to talk to these guys when we were doing flag game, too. But, man, to just be able – those guys were like my heroes because I was 15 years old when they were playing, And I'm here to tell you that some of these guys are going to be at the gala, people like Steve Mott. Wow. Steve Mott's one of the greatest centers to ever play for the University of Alabama. Hope Wes won't look me up and try to beat me up. But anyway, but anyway, so we've got this gala coming up on the 23rd of February. It's called the 1 Yard at a Time Gala. And, I know my Auburn guys are going to say, God, he tricked us, but I really didn't. Coach Bryant, you said all games won 1 yard at a time, so that's why we have the 1 yard at a time gala. and it helps us raise our annual budget. But this year is special. This year is special because I'm just going to go ahead and say it on your radio show, so you're going to kind of have an exclusive here. We're going to announce on Good Day Alabama on February 13th with Major Oakley. I think Coach Clark may join us as well, because you guys know Coach Clark, former UAB head coach, is a Letterman USA guy, one of our honorees from 2020 athletic honorees. It's going to help us announce the Heroes Village that will be built in the near future, and it'll be a facility that will have not only about 120 homes. Hopefully there'll be rapid build homes, what we call. There's all kinds of technologies out here. You guys are familiar with 3D printers, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's an organization out there that can do 2 homes in 24 hours with a 3D printer. So we're hoping to put this. Pretty neat. Yeah, we're hoping to put this state-of-the-art technology to work. It'll also have a chapel. Major and I have talked about it. We want a re-education facility, the guys that want to learn how to, maybe reintegrate into society again. And then it'll also have an assisted care facility, which will be for the Korean War vets and the Vietnam vets, because we just don't feel confident enough that by the time we get to where we need to do to have this thing completed, that there'll be any World War II veterans living, because they're leaving us now at just an unbelievable rapid rate. Now, we're going to have some World War II veterans, I think, for the gala, is what I've been told. So that's what I've been told. So we'll wait and see.
So you mentioned a flag football game a little while ago. A lot of folks don't know that this kind of all started with a flag football game. Yeah,
can you believe it? This was 12 years ago. Letterman USA is a 12-year-old organization now, founded in December of 2011 after the August 13th flag football game that took place between former Alabama and Auburn players and coaches to raise $150,000 for the Governor's Emergency Relief Fund.
Darryl, wasn't that at Spain Park? Is that where it was?
Yeah, it was at Spain Park. We were, I remember when we were looking for locations. I looked at Sanford. I looked at Hoover, where the Hoover Bucks play. But one of the things we had the governor coming for the event, so we had to have what they call an ingress and an egress, and it had to be a loop, and so that's why. That's one of the reasons Spain Park, and it was just an amazing facility, got chosen.
So the event is the 23rd. Where the venue will it be?
It'll be at the club. I'm sorry. So the event is on the 23rd of February. It's Friday night. It's a Coke and cocktail, and the doors will open at 6 p.m. Now, if you've never been to a Letterman USA event, you've not experienced the patriotism that most people would not think that former collegiate athletes and coaches could put on, okay? But that night we will have the Shades Valley Color Guard, who has been our color guard in the past, to present the colors. They'll be out front with their flags when you get to the club, when you pull up to the club. And then we'll have it's called the Flag Guys. All I know how to tell you, he goes to a lot of events, military events, and he just posts with a flag. He'll be in the lobby where you check in with Yvonne Pope and all of her folks that will check you in that night. And then when you go through the doors, you will see this amazing setup of footballs on tables, these mini helmets that say Letterman USA on it. You guys may have seen that online that we recently just came up with. And then the night of the event itself, or when everything gets going, we will call in the colors. We're so pleased that the commissioner of the Alabama Department of Veterans Affairs, Rear Admiral Davis, will call in the colors. And gentlemen, this will be the first time we've ever had a ROTC color guard that is a college color guard, and that will be the University of Alabama Air Force color guard that will present the colors that night as Admiral Davis calls them in. There'll also be a missing man table there that night to honor the missing man, the MIA that didn't come home, and then there'll be a group, and they're just one of my teammates, Danny Smith, was a punter at Alabama. You guys may remember Danny. He was a pretty good punter back in the early 80s. He can sing better than Pavarotti, okay? I mean, he's just amazing. So he's going to be singing the national anthem. And then we're going to have some folks in that are just going to sing some patriotic songs that night. And then we'll have the live auction. There'll be some what we call adopt a veteran moment, and just a whole bunch of types of items you can bid on, from dove hunts down in Argentina to anything else you can possibly imagine. There's going to be some special other things. There's going to be this one particular one that I love is you can get a Nick Saban straw hat with an autographed Nick Saban football and box tickets to the South Carolina game, 2 of them.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And
Well,
Gary Moore has been amazing, too. He's given us some nice stuff.
I hadn't been able to come in the last couple of years, but I got a free night that night.
You better get down there then.
So, Darryl, any Kalen DeBoer autograph items?
Now, what now?
Any Kalen DeBoer autograph items?
I don't think so. I don't think we got any of that.
Okay. Well, we're just wondering, since he's going to be
But you guys remember a linebacker from Alabama, Eric Andrews? He's an MMA fighter.
Yes.
Eric's coming. He's going to be there.
What was your thoughts of Saban retiring, Darryl?
Well, man, I went through the wilderness before Saban got here. Yeah. And and it was hurtful, because one of those guys that got let go was room down the hall from me, this guy named Mike Sheila, and that was hard to watch that happen.
Yeah.
So Mike's a great guy. I mean, he just is, and there's just some people that are meant for certain programs and some that are not. And Nick Saban was just the Bear Bryant of his age. I mean, I think I'll just let you guys know I'm not a fan of the NIL, and I don't have any qualms about saying it. I honestly believe that may be one of the reasons why he's moving on.
Yeah. Well, Darryl, give us the event, the time, and the venue and the tickets. How can we get tickets?
Yeah, you can get tickets by going to lotusa.org, just lotusa.org. Look, and if you just want to make a donation for that night, I mean, if you can't, let's say you can't make the event, but yet you want to donate to one of our many programs. Guys, I haven't told you the programs. Over the years, we've built these amazing programs. We've got, of course, the Autographs for Heroes program, which we've talked about many times, signature program. It is 12 years, no, it's 11 years old. It's an 11-year-old program. And we've given over 520 autographed footballs across the nation since its inception. We have the Wheels for Heroes program, which is another older program. It's personal mobility aids. We do it from time to time. We have one of our fastest growing programs. It's the Interiors for Heroes program. And the Interiors for Heroes program, literally, these guys, all they get is a dwelling from the VA or from the Salvation Army Priority Veteran and a bed. And we come in and we turn it into an Airbnb with our Interiors for Heroes. Flat screen, everything, couch, dish towels, Dawn dish and detergent, whatever. It's all there, including another program that I can segue into, and that's Food for Heroes. We leave a refrigerator of food, and we leave a pantry of food for these guys and girls. And we just launched back in Thanksgiving Turkey for Heroes. So we did 30 of our Interiors for Heroes clients. Hopefully this year there's plans to try to do 300 for Turkeys for Heroes for Thanksgiving. And then we're partnering with the Alabama Power Foundation or the ABC Trust with something called Utilities for Heroes. And that's for a lot of people don't realize some of these veterans in their they've got children, they have PTSD, and they're choosing between power, food, or rent. And sometimes they can't pay their power bill. And we go directly to the company and we pay their power bill to get them back on their feet, or at least to give them a little ease. And then we have Rent for Heroes is another one of our programs where we have a veteran that's lost his job or is just, for whatever reason, all the things that happen to these veterans, we'll come in and pay their rent for them as well. And that's just some of the many programs. And now we're now expanding what was early on the Homes for Heroes program. We went in, we did some renovations on porches or decks or stuff like that to allow a wheelchair, a veteran with a wheelchair to get up it. Now we're expanding the Homes for Heroes program, as I told you guys, into the Heroes Village, which we hope to, as I said, come out on Good Day Alabama with JJ on the 13th and tell a lot of folks about with Major Ogilvie, we hope, if everything works out.
Well, Darryl, that's great, and we appreciate you joining us, bud. February 23rd, the one club in Birmingham, the 1 yard.
Yeah, it's the club in Birmingham.
The club. And
the club, they call it. And hey, look, it overlooks the city, and it's beautiful, man. I'm telling you what, if you want some ambiance that night, that's where you want to be. It is something.
Well, buddy, we appreciate you joining us. Good luck with the event, and we're looking forward to talking to you down the road.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to tell your listening audience about a lot of what's going on with the Letterman USA and our many new programs, and, of course, this Heroes Village, which is going to be very impactful for our state's veterans.
Darryl, you have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was Darryl Fuhrman with Letterman's of USA. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on the Big 1080 WKC.
Your roof is the first line of defense for your home. Do you have water stains on your ceiling, paint peeling off your walls, shingles missing? It's probably time for you to get your free roof inspection. Locally owned and operated, licensed, and insured, Yellowhammer Roofing is the Yellowhammer State hometown team. Yellowhammer Roofing. Let our family protect what's most important to you, your family. 256-232-1933 or online at yellowhammerroofing.com.
Davis & Cole LLP in Athens has served the area assisting individuals and businesses with bookkeeping, tax preparation and filing, and routine accounting. Davis & Cole LLP, located at 105 South Marion Street, open weekdays 9 to 5. Call 256-232-9994. Davis & Cole LLP.
Bring a little caffeination inspiration to your next event with Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens. Turn up the heat in these cooler months with their signature products, including a full coffee menu, white chocolate mocha, lattes, frappes, energy drinks, lemonades, and teas. Travelin' Tom serves events of any size, concerts, neighborhood block parties, high school football games, you name it. Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens is sure to make any event a little sweeter. Visit Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens on Facebook or call them at 434-1734. Travelin' Tom's Coffee of Athens.
If your place on the water needs some attention, call BP Riverworks. Boathouses, docks, seawalls, and repairs. Call Baron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks. Licensed and insured 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097. Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with the Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC.
Hi, this is Ray Scott, former Detroit Pistons player and coach, and you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
And welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk here at the VBC. I'm Jay Vassar, joined by producer extraordinaire Tim Lambert, along with Laura Pitts and Freak Daddy Coleman. And joining us here at the desk is one of the guys from the team, Brian Wilson, formerly of the Beach Boys, right?
Yeah, different guy.
Brian, we appreciate you joining us, man.
He's got a lower voice.
Yeah, no problem.
Brian.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I had him on the podcast earlier this month or earlier this week, and I said, "All right, I'm going to get this out of the way." Were your parents Brian Wilson or Beach Boys fans? And he's like,
yeah,
not so much. You know? So
not much beach talking. But Mississauga, Ontario.
I'm going to tell you, I myself am. Yeah. My brother-in-law, who is from California, we were both at the game last night, so we were trying to work in as many Beach Boys references to our conversation. I mean, you know, I hope he gets around in front of the goal there. And, you know, wouldn't it be nice if he blocked all their shots,
right.
You know, which he did.
Right, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
A great night.
Brian, how you like Huntsville?
I love it. Yeah, it's been a fantastic experience so far. I mean, obviously, you know, the organization here treats us really well, and all the community support, and just how much they kind of welcome us as players into the community is it's really special. So I've really been enjoying it so far.
So how old are you when you started playing hockey?
I started playing when I was like 3 years old. I mean, around 3, you're kind of more just learning to skate than anything. But yeah, started pretty young. Being from Canada, it's pretty standard up there.
When did you transition to goalie right off the bat, or?
Not right off the bat, but yeah, when I was about 6, I started to be a full-time goalie. So it was quite early on for me to be a goalie. So
did you choose to do that, or were you kind of just thrown like, we need a goalie today, come on out here, let's figure it out?
I really wanted to be a goalie. So I know I was talking about it on the Reekin Havoc podcast earlier, but yeah, I was on a team. I mean, at that age, it's just kind of everybody's trying out each position. There's not really set positions for guys yet, and yeah, everyone was getting a turn to play goalie, and it was just kind of on a volunteer basis. You know, a coach would come in the room before the game and say, "All right, who wants to go in net today?" And I would always volunteer, and I got my chance finally to be in net, and I guess I really enjoyed it because yeah, every game after that, I still kept volunteering, and the coach is like, "Look, we can't put you in net. Like, we got to give everybody a chance here to play the position. Like, we can't just keep throwing you in." But eventually, once everyone had tried it, it was kind of I was one of the only guys still volunteering, and they were like, "All right, well, yeah, I guess we'll let you go back in if you want." So that's kind of it was definitely something that I wanted to do. I wasn't just kind of thrown into it.
So you didn't have the reaction that the kid in the Mighty Ducks had whenever
the knuckle flying coming his way.
Yeah.
No. I guess for some reason I was excited to have pucks flying at me. Don't ask me why.
So I haven't got a chance to get to know you that much because I'm not, with the team as much as I have been in the past, but over the years, the goalie, it's hit or miss as far as the personality of the goalie. I know, like, over the years.
No pun intended, though.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Hit or miss.
Yeah, for sure. But I know that goalies can be notorious for being very quirky, very superstitious. I know we had one goalie, I won't say his name because he probably could listen at some point through something, but I remember going on the road with the Havoc, and he had a notebook, and he was just writing stuff in a notebook. And when I looked at the notebook, it almost looked like a notebook like a serial killer would have. Like, it was like just one word written 55,000
We are
different
typecasting goalies today.
But I mean, he'll probably admit to this that they're some goalies are very unique and superstitious. Some of them are very much like, don't even look at me on game day, don't talk to me. We had one goalie though, Dan McWinney, who was a complete wild party guy, so it was always these hit or miss. So with you, if you described you, like, what are you on a game day? Are you
what
the one
your
like
superstition that makes you a serial killer? Is what he's asking.
I think people say goalies are weird. I like to say we're just unique.
I agree with that.
But,
special.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. I'm actually not really superstitious. I just try to cut out superstitions as much as I can, kind of along the way. Just because it's not something that I find really helps you be ready for a game. I got my certain things I do to prepare, but I think there's a difference between like preparation and superstition, and I think it's important to kind of be aware of the difference of that. Like, I don't have to put the left side of my gear on first and the right side.
Same socks.
Stuff like that. It's not gonna, it's not helping me get ready. It's just getting in my head more than anything. So I try to avoid things like that. I don't know, in terms of preparation, like I do like juggling and stuff before games, and I do have I do actually have a notebook as well. It doesn't just have one word written in it a bunch of times on every page. No, it's just I've worked with a sports psychologist, started about, I think it was 7 or 8 years ago now. So it's really just a few mental notes in there just to keep me on track, get me back to basics if I'm ever struggling. Or, I read it all the time. It's whether I'm struggling or whether I'm going along well, right? It's just kind of being consistent with the mental preparation, because obviously, the game's very mental, especially being a goalie. It's a very mentally demanding position. So,
do you have a playlist, music, something you got to listen to before every game?
I just go with whatever the guys are playing in the locker room.
Whatever Cole's, isn't that right? Didn't Cole say that he was the one, or somebody's the one that controls? Reggie's the music
DJ.
man. Yeah,
Reggie takes care of the music on game days in the room. So I just put my trust in him, and whatever he's got going on for the guys. I know some guys like to have their own headphones in and be in their own world, but I don't mind just listening to whatever's on and being able to. You can't really interact with people so much when you got headphones on and stuff, so I don't mind having no headphones and chatting with some guys.
He was prepared for this interview because I asked him a lot of these same questions.
Same questions before.
Podcast.
Well, I mean, the goalie is, we talked about the fan base who may be ignorant to a lot of the things.
The goalie's like the quarterback.
Well, and the same thing, quarterback, pitcher.
Or, the kicker, whatever.
But, I think goalie in from hockey is very difficult, because there's a lot of things where there may be a goal that was scored, it came in through you, but it may have been the defenseman that was out of position or screwed up, and I think a lot of the fans don't realize that, where they blame it like, if it goes in, it's your fault. And it's like, there's a lot of times, as I've learned and grew over the years understanding hockey, it's like, okay, man, his defenseman just left him hanging on that one. That is so not his fault. But the fans are like, pull the goalie. It's like, that's not fair, as far
just because there's one perspective up here in these stands.
Oh, absolutely.
We're very unique in what we get to do and find all this stuff out. But they always have that one.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot. There was times when I worked for the team that I traveled with the guys, and I really had more respect for a minor league hockey player, because it's a grind. And I remember just being on the bus. I wasn't even playing. I wasn't getting hit. And you would go from these cities, and, you get through a game and you go get on this little, what you think it's a tour bus, but it's this crappy 27-person stacked in like sardines. You're not really sleeping. You've already just got stitched up, and then you got to just go to city. You're not like, hey, let's go get on the plane at Huntsville International, and we'll be there in an hour, and we're rested, and we're, it's very hard. And like I said, and then when you get into the fact that they're not getting paid what you think they're getting paid, then it's like, okay, be easy on these guys, because they don't get paid enough to deal with your idiot.
With that statement, we kind of have an idea what you get paid, but you guys get paid nothing. So you're actually doing this in this minor league mostly because you love it, right? How are you? How does that, as a young person? Well, you're doing the sport, you love the sport, but you also have to make a living. You have things that you need to pay and sustain and all this stuff. How do you balance that, knowing that there could be other things you could do right now at your age that would actually be, I guess, lucrative other than what you're doing? Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, I guess, like it comes down to just, we love playing the game. We love competing. It's something that most of us have been doing just all our lives, and it's something that you can't just kind of go back to when you're older, take some time off and be like, I'll just, I'll come back and play after I've made some money. It's
once you're out of it, you're kind of out of it. So I think you might as well just kind of play and see where it takes you, until you can't or until it doesn't make sense anymore. And then at least like in a place like Huntsville, it makes it a lot easier to kind of justify and be able to do it just with all the support we do get, with just how well the organization treats us, and we have some great sponsors and stuff that also make it a lot easier to manage while we're here. So there's definitely ways, and you talk to some of your friends that are not playing that are did go the other route, and it's like maybe I'm making a lot of money but kind of miserable doing it. And it's like, well,
live your life now,
maybe
enjoy
I'm
it
not
till
making
you
as
can.
much money,
Yeah.
but I'm get to enjoy these years and have get to enjoy it with a group of like 20 guys, 20 good friends. So
how did you get to Huntsville? What was I know you've played around, you played in some SPHL teams. How did you get to Huntsville?
Yeah, so that was I think Billy McCurry helped me out with that. So I was playing in Danbury last year, and he was the coach there. And I know we had some conversations over the summer, and I think he and Stu had gotten connected. And I think they kind of chatted about me possibly coming here. So Stu reached out this summer. I think it was maybe probably in August some point, and just asked if I wanted to, if I'd be interested in coming to camp with an opportunity to potentially earn a spot. So I just kind of came into camp, nothing, no guarantees, just with a chance to kind of earn whatever whatever opportunity was there. So I just came in and just tried to stop as many pucks as I could and see where that got me.
You didn't have a lot of games in the SPHL, but what is the feeling of some of the other teams about Huntsville? I'm sure do they hate us? Do they really actually like to play here? What's the from the outside looking in? Yeah.
What's the
I think from the outside looking in, it's kind of it's just kind of like the premier spot to play in the league, is kind of the consensus that I got, because everybody, come here to play an away game. You see the support that we get here. The rink's full every night, and guys in the league talk. Most guys know at least one or two guys in every team, it seems like. So just from hearing, I think probably from players that are here, like word of mouth getting around, just how we get treated here and stuff. I think that's a big thing with that. So yeah, it wasn't so much a hatred or anything. Just kind of, guys see how Huntsville gets treated, and obviously they have a really, really competitive team every year. It's kind of a spot that guys get fired up for the games because, it's you're playing a good team and a good crowd and stuff. So I think guys will get a little extra fired up to play Huntsville, but I don't know if that's necessarily out of a quote unquote hatred for Huntsville, or just more.
We are the standard, is what you're saying without saying it, and I'll say it. We are the standard.
Yeah, no, I think that's. I think that's fair. I think, rightfully so. Just from now experiencing, being part of it. It's. I think.
So now you understand when you hear people like Ty and Stu who said they ended their career here, why they stay so long, why it so matters to them.
Yeah, definitely. No, I do get it. Just with like what you were talking about earlier with, obviously it's not like we're not millionaires playing here. You play in some other places and you wonder how, you see guys that are playing here that have been on the league for like 6 or 7 years or whatever it is. And when you're on another team, it's kind of like, how's this guy been, like, why is he playing in this league like so long or whatever? And then you get here, it's like, okay, you can understand why guys stay, why guys stick around.
They meet pretty girls.
Yeah, it's,
so there's the Southern allure, and honestly, there's been a lot of guys that I look now and I'm thinking, I go up to them afterwards and I'm saying, okay, you work for Lockheed Martin. How did that happen? You know, and he's like, well, the season ticket holder worked there, and they got a good job. You know, so there's
they find those
a whole way
connections.
of like, hey, you know. And,
I think that goes to the front office, especially with Keith, being able to create that culture and expect that culture to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I think the culture starts from the top down, and it's I couldn't dream up a bad thing to say about the culture here. It's been such a positive experience all around.
Tanya Ozanik sent me a couple of late questions. It was after I had already talked to you.
Okay.
And so these are Booster Club questions.
You can answer honestly. They're not going to cut your meals or anything.
They might give you an extra
She said,
you never know.
Of all the leagues, who had the best Booster Club support? And what
It's a loaded question.
What does the Havoc Booster Club do best? Those are a couple, but I think that we've kind of covered some of the other stuff.
This seems like a trap.
It does. It does.
Well, you've been in another league too, and experienced boosters.
Yeah,
too.
no.
So,
I genuinely would say Huntsville. I would say the Booster Club here is the best in terms of just kind of getting us set up with stuff that we need and making sure we're taken care of. It's awesome that we get snacks for the road and stuff, and like you were saying, it's long bus trips between place to place, and sometimes not a lot of sleeping going on, and you're hungry after games and whatever, and it's nice to just have stuff available to us without having to stop somewhere or whatever, because that's obviously.
He's saying it nicely. It is. Yeah. I just sat on the bus and it was pure hell. I went from Columbus to Louisiana to it was Columbus, Pensacola, Louisiana, and it was in 3 days. And I felt like I'd get hit by a train. I was like, this. I couldn't sleep. It was the bus. I think.
And then it had a breakdown.
Yeah, yes, right. Had a breakdown on the bus. It was just you're sitting there and you're just like, God, how do they do this? Definitely, it is the love of the game. But we talked about earlier. If I was a player coming in here, I would love it because there's no greater feeling in sports. I played sports most of my life, but to go into an environment and shut up that many fans would be amazing. So if you were to go in and beat us 4-0 in here or whatever, that would be a good thing. But it's I would think that would be because some of these places they don't They don't get hardly any fans at all. Yeah.
Well, they don't have all the fun
right.
fan atmosphere, the experience of it, that brings it in.
And
go ahead.
And what amazes me as a goalie is how you focus with all that traffic in front of you.
Yeah.
And the noise.
Your head's on a swivel. How do you do it, man? I couldn't do it.
Yeah. No, I mean sometimes it's definitely pretty difficult. Obviously, kind of depends on what the other team's doing and what your team's doing. So, I don't know. A lot of the times, just being able to find pucks is based on our, my defense and forwards doing their jobs and boxing guys out of the lane, so I can kind of get a clear look at pucks there. So obviously, a lot of the credit goes to them for that, for being able to clear those lanes out so I can see pucks.
There was one block you had last night. He blocks it up here with his right hand. It goes straight up in the air, and then he catches it, boop, and his left hand is like, yeah, I meant to do that.
Yeah, I didn't exactly mean to do it, but it's.
But it looked like it, though.
I was just saying, once it bounced up, I got to grab it. So, yeah.
Now, have you ever broken a stick where you're doing the countdown to let your teammates know that the penalty's about over with? You ever?
No, I've never broken a stick doing that.
What about a fight?
Usually not. That's
right.
I forgot to ask him that question.
I want to know if you've been in a goalie fight, or have you wanted to drop those gloves and be in a goalie fight?
No, I haven't been in a goalie fight. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So,
so Reggie will fight for you, is what you're saying?
Sure,
we'll
yeah.
Get him to go out there.
He wants to fight for me. Yeah, sure.
Mr. Penalty Minute.
I don't
between him and Dominus too.
I don't envision myself getting in a goalie fight anytime soon. It'd be good entertainment, but
we will keep that in mind. If we see those gloves drop or you get ill, we're all going to know that it's serious business.
I would full on WWE it in a sense. I would just talk to the guy like, here's the deal. Make me a hero in Huntsville tonight in front of our sellout crowd. I'm not going to ever hit you, but let's make it look like I hit you.
Exactly.
Then I'll go to your barn, and I'll let you kill me.
We'll be one and done. We'll be done.
You know, maybe they could have, you know, like the Huntsville Stars used to have the sumo wrestler things.
Right.
We could have fans dressed up like goalies
there you go.
and do fights in the intermission.
What about injury? Any bad goalie injury?
I've had
with your flying pucks going everywhere.
I've had a couple of MCL sprains, high ankle sprain. I fractured my thumb once. Other than that, I mean, nothing too crazy. Those were all, luckily, knock on wood here. But
we'll make this wood.
They were all like pretty minor. The most I had was like maybe a 6-week recovery. So, not the worst. Could be worse. So, we'll hope that trend continues. But
if you get injured tonight, it'll be, I guess, my fault because I asked the question.
You told me you had majored in sports management.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about going into coaching?
Going into coaching?
Yeah.
I mean, I do already do like some goalie coaching.
Oh, okay.
So I do that kind of as my summer job. Work for a couple different goalie schools out there, and a lot of my summer is filled up with coaching goalies. In terms of actually coaching a team, I haven't done that before. It's something I could potentially see myself doing. I think I would definitely have, like anyone, I would have a lot to learn. There'd be a learning curve for sure. Just kind of, obviously I see the game through a goalie's perspective. So, learning the game a little bit more through like a player's perspective, I think would be important for that. But obviously most coaches have played the game. So, I'm sure that would be something that would definitely be doable.
Who's your favorite team?
My favorite NHL team, I would say, is it's definitely the Leafs, Toronto Maple Leafs. So, growing up near Toronto, kind of just you're born into it. So,
just like Alabama football down here, right?
Yeah, if you stay down here long enough, you'll be like Tyler, have to pick a side.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, we appreciate you joining us, bud. Good luck tonight, and we'll hopefully talk to you soon on down the road.
Yeah, no problem, and thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
That's the goalie, Brian Wilson, joining us here as we're going to take a break. You listen to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on the Big 1080 and the VAS Plus app.
Congratulations to this week's Howl with the Havoc winners, Jenny Miller, Jerry Todd, Darlene Bird, and Teresa Starkey. They each pick up tickets to see the Huntsville Havoc in action this season. Go to tailgatetalk.net and enter your name, and you may be our next winner. Tailgate Talk will be right back.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand, first to help with community events and fundraisers, first to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations, first to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events, and most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together, that's what we strive for.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Davey & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Davey & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
For screen printing, sign printing, banners, logo design, and more, look no further than That Shirt Printing Place. Located at 709 North Jefferson Street in Athens. Call 256-444-1827. That Shirt Printing Place. Visit them online at thatshirtprintingplacellc.com. Look for them on Facebook too. That Shirt Printing Place. 256-444-1927. That Shirt Printing Place.
He's got a push. Back up 3. And he got it! 3-pointer at the buzzer to win it! Unbelievable!
Join Play Action Sports for another season of Calhoun basketball. You can hear live action from men's and women's teams streamed on the PAS Plus app on your Alexa device by saying Open PAS Plus or online at pasplus.net. Check out the online archives on the website or on your favorite podcast platform too. And listen for select games on Sundays at noon on WKAC Radio. Calhoun basketball from PAS Plus.
Hi, this is Athens girls basketball coach Tiffany Tucker, and you are listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
And welcome back to Applebee's Tailgate Talk live here at the BBC. And that was a great interview with Brian. He's a tall guy to be a goalie.
Goalies are, some of them are really tall, but yeah, he's when I say the quirky side of it, they're usually I would never say this in front of him, but he's different. But I mean, some goalies are complete head cases. I mean, they are.
Was Max that way?
At times, yes. And I won't say the names, but the guy that I said that had the notebook, it was a notebook, and he would write, the word get out of, or like almost like writing a teacher, you got in trouble, you had to write all the sentences or whatever. It'd be like, get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my head. I mean, wow. And I looked and I was like, God, this guy's crazy. But they are, there were some of them that, I usually, like when I walk in, I'll walk in the same entrance that the players are in. Mm-hmm. I don't as much anymore, but I used to, know a lot of the players. And so I would always make sure I'd go and say, hey, or step in the locker room and just say hello and stuff like that. And some of them be like, I'd say something, then like Glenn or one of them would come up and be like, hey, when you go through there, don't say nothing to him. And I'm like, I just said hi. What would that do to throw off the game? But there's some of them, they're just like, it's that serious of a situation, and but the goalie, they're very, very, very quirky, very, very routine. Like I said, he didn't say, but I'm sure if I were to call Billy Mack and be like, hey, give me the inside scoop on Brian Wilson on things that he did, he could probably give me a handful of things that they do that they'll look and go, yeah, they're just kind of different.
And I'd asked him about the rituals thing, and he said, during the intermissions, breaks, I'll go through my mental notebook, and I thought he was talking about like a true mental notebook, that he kind of kept in his brain and not a physical notebook, of mental things.
So he's got to be. He's got to be a little there because he said sports psychologist. So they've worked through.
I was wanting to be like, what's the deal with that? But we'll save that for a follow-up interview we do with him one day.
So tonight's Wizard Night.
Wizard Night with
Jersey auction.
Yep,
Harry
Jersey
Potter
auction
night.
after that. Yeah, there's some fun games. I was just looking at some of the games that are left as far as the things. We still have the Wiener Dog race. That's always fun. I have no idea what they're going to do on Grateful Dead night, but I know I've seen the jerseys, which are the tie-dyed kind of cool jerseys. So those will be cool.
We won't be smelling that aroma that we used to back in the 70s here.
Incense or whatever they call it.
Maybe it'd be something different.
We're in Colorado, maybe.
Wrestling night and
Wrestling
Walking Dead. Fun. Yeah, so I think they're trying to work. They're supposed to be having like one of the local, like something New South wrestling or something's going to be here, and they're going to have I think they said they're going to have like a wrestling ring here, and they'll maybe do like some little mat or something like that. So just it's crazy. It goes by really fast. The season, you think that it's but it goes by really, really quick.
Speaking of wrestling, T-Bone had his swan song yesterday.
He had a rough day yesterday. Yeah. So, but I think it's he didn't talk to me after he went in. He thought that he would was good enough that he was going to make it to state. And both matches he made critical mistakes that he lost, and it was just not good. So he was, I drove down and came back and, are you okay? I could send the okay text and like, no. And then like last night I was like, let's talk. And he's like, not tonight, so I got to talk to him a little bit this morning. But yeah, it's one of these things where you got to balance that.
Yeah.
You do really, really well. You get lots of praise. You get all these things, and then you don't do well, which I think it's just – I told him, literally when I got on the phone, I said, son, if I could tell you that the rest of your life you're not going to go through some kind of adversity or disappointment, I said I would be lying in as many ways that I could. So I was like, so just take this as –
it's how you come back from it.
Right.
Yeah, starts how you use it as motivation.
Yep.
Did any of the wrestlers – make it?
We have 2 from James Clemens. They were the same 2 that made the state last year. Max Bell, who's in like the 130, and then a really good kid, Ethan Johnson, that is a senior, and he's actually one of 5 James Clemens kids that has over 100 wins. So he made it to state. So we'll have 2.
Max was one of our Applebee's nominees this week.
Yeah, Max is like Timothy. He had a big transformation. Max was a real chubby, chunky kid, and now he's in, he's 130 something. So he's a different animal now.
Yeah. So is the state here next weekend?
It'll be here next weekend.
Next weekend.
That was down at the Bill Harris complex there in Birmingham, wrapping up today.
On my side of the state over in Jackson County and Scottsboro, we have a pretty good wrestling team too.
They do.
Our guys are pretty good over there. So.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, it was good. It was a good thing. I think he was just disappointed. He had his sights set on getting to state, and there's just a lot of good wrestlers, and they as they grow, I tell him, I'm like, you're getting bigger and better and stronger. There's other people that are getting bigger and better and stronger as well. So you're not the only one working to.
Well,
to
again,
succeed.
it's how you come back from it.
Yeah.
And him being young, I mean, he's got all these prospects with football. What does he want to do you think? When it comes down, he's graduating, signing, going somewhere. Where do you think he's going to end up?
It depends if he's got done playing Call of Duty, because one day he wants to be in the military. There's other days he wants to be an MMA wrestler.
Okay, so we're at that.
I think honestly, at the end of the day, his goal would be a college or D1 long snapper would be
football.
And would love to be a pro athlete. And we've got a couple friends of ours that are from like Walter Jones is a good friend of mine, and he played in the NFL, and he talks to Tim. Probably sometimes I feel like more than I do. Walt will be like, hey, I don't want you mad. I've been texting Tim. And I'm like, no, hey, man, it's good. Like, get motivation. But I just tell him, I'm like, that's a.
Now, when he has days like yesterday, does he go to you more? Or does he go to Chastity more? Will Chastity try to talk to him? Or
yesterday he wanted nothing. Nobody. Literally, because I was kind of worried because he wasn't responding to me, didn't respond to Chastity. And I messed with one of the moms and dads, and they were like, he's just been walking around the arena. He doesn't have his phone on him. He doesn't. So he's kind of – I do the same thing. I'm a lot like him. Like if I really am battling with something, I don't like to involve other people.
Yeah.
Like Chastity will get mad at me. My wife will get mad where she'll say, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, well, if I told you, then that's another person who has to worry about it.
Yeah.
If it's just me, I can handle it. I'm good. So I think he's a lot like me in that. But yeah, he'll be fine. It's just, the young life of battling through the adversity of a teenage boy.
Oh, Wagyu.
Yeah.
He
signed his letter of intent to James. That was a cool event. I think more schools. I've seen a lot of them.
Is
doing
that the first time they've done it?
Yes.
Okay.
In that format.
That's for him as a high, like going from middle school.
To
go up. That's kind of neat.
Well, they did it. They did it, and I thought it was great on Coach Chad McGee, who came up. And I'm sure, like I said, I've seen other ones that are doing it too. But they had all the kids and their parents, and they came in and told them to dress up nice, and they were going to. Profess their commitment to James Clemens High School, which was funny, and they gave them microphones, and they were all doing, thank God my family for getting me here, and it was really cool.
But they don't have caps that they.
Right. They didn't do that.
It's only one cap.
Well, that's what I told them. I said, what we should do is have like a Bob Jones hat and a James and then throw the Bob Jones hat away.
There you go.
They don't sign their NIL deals.
No, but it was fun. Like I said, that was we'll see how he's the younger one is I'm going to hate to say this, but my friends have told me this, that he's a lot like me when I was younger in the sense of definitely not. Timothy doesn't worry about anything. Timothy will he grinds through it. Wesley will, be worrying about, well, have we got our football helmet yet? Have we got this yet? Are we, these things? And it's a lot like me. So we'll see.
Well,
excited about both.
Well, Clay, we appreciate you joining us.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Laurie, appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
And all our special guests here today. We had a great time over at the BBC. And so for myself, my producer extraordinaire, Tim Lambert, thank you for joining us for another edition of Applebee's Tailgate Talk. We've been live here at the BBC. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Davis & Cole LLP in Athens has served the area assisting individuals and businesses with bookkeeping, tax preparation and filing, and routine accounting. Davis & Cole LLP, located at 105 South Marion Street, open weekdays 9 to 5. Call 256-232-9994. Davis & Cole LLP.
If your place on the water needs some attention, call BP Riverworks. Boathouses, docks, seawalls, and repairs. Call Baron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks. Licensed and insured, 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097. While others have come and gone, the Lions Den Gym has been roaring as a workout and exercise fixture in Athens, growing from its humble basement beginnings in 1981 to their current 10,000 square foot location at 212 Commercial Drive in Athens. The Lions Den offers 24/7 access to their ever-expanding equipment collection that includes treadmills and climbers, elliptical trainers, stationary bikes, loose weights and dumbbells, and over 45 different weight machines. Contact the Lions Den Gym about a membership today at 256-652-2627. Visit them online at lionsdengym.com or on Facebook, The Lions Den Gym, 256-652-2627. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. Now on a platform near you, the only year-round weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Reekin Havoc podcast. News, interviews, and more. Dropping every Thursday, we'll just reek of the Huntsville Havoc. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and listen, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app and online at ReekinHavoc.com. You've been listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk live on location. You can hear the archive of this and other shows online at tailgatetalk.net. Join us next Saturday at 10 a.m. on 1080 WKAC. Applebee's Tailgate Talk is a production of Play Action Sports on 1080 WKAC.